What makes a person constantly appear in your mind? Have you ever wondered why someone always seems to be there, even when they are not physically by your side? This is one of the questions that can indicate a deeper spiritual awakening, something that goes beyond everyday life and leads us to reflect on what is happening inside us. Sometimes we can't understand why a person takes up so much of our thoughts, but often this has nothing to do with the person themselves, but with something that is happening inside us. When someone is always on your mind, it can be a sign of your spiritual awakening, an invitation to look deeper into your emotions, your beliefs, and even the unresolved aspects of your life. The human mind is complex, full of layers and reflections, and it often connects to other beings through subtle energies, without us even being aware of it. When someone is constantly in your thoughts, it may be a way for the universe or your own consciousness to try to show you something about yourself. It could be that this person is just a reflection of a part of you, a part that you don't yet understand or that is asking for your attention. Now I invite you to reflect. What does this person represent to you? Is there a pattern to your thoughts? Or perhaps something deeper that you need to understand in order to free yourself from this constant mental connection? Spiritual awakening begins with these questions, with the awareness that the signs are all around us waiting to be seen. This is a time for pause. Look inside yourself. Feel what comes to mind when you think of the person who is always in your thoughts. Don't try to rush this reflection. Allow yourself stillness. After all, this process is about understanding your own spiritual journey. Without rushing, without judgment. This person in your mind can be a mirror to what is going on inside you. Maybe you have an unresolved emotional connection, or maybe there is a message you need to receive. Spiritual awakening is, in essence, the recognition that everything that happens around us is, in some way, a reflection of what we are experiencing internally. What do you think? Is this person a reflection of something you need to see in yourself? If you're comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments below. I would like to know, what feeling do you have when this person invades your mind? As you observe your own thoughts, you may realize that often the connection we have with people goes beyond what we realize. Maybe it's time to look at the thought patterns you have and question, why is this happening? How can this person, or your connection with them, be a starting point for your spiritual growth? As you reflect on this, you begin to realize that your spiritual awakening does not depend on large external events, but on recognizing the small but powerful messages that come from within you. Every thought, every sensation is an opportunity to reconnect with your deepest essence. Perhaps you are facing a learning process that is already happening in your life, but has not yet been fully recognized. This journey of self-knowledge and evolution is not always linear. Sometimes it comes with challenges, but also with great revelations. And it is exactly this process that allows us to evolve spiritually. Looking inside ourselves and realizing that everything that is happening around us has something to teach us. The universe, in its deepest form, speaks to us through these interactions. Each person that appears in your mind can be a fundamental piece for your growth. In this video, we'll explore how that person in your mind can be a key to your spiritual awakening, an invitation to understand more about yourself and grow more consciously. Let's learn to reflect on what these connections mean for our inner growth and how we can use these reflections to become more aligned with our true essence. Allow yourself to be present in this moment, leaving your mind open to new discoveries. Spiritual awakening begins when we allow ourselves to notice the signs and messages that come from within. Throughout this video, we will explore how this process can be transformative and deeply enriching, taking you to a new level of understanding about who you truly are. Now that you have allowed yourself to reflect on this person's constant presence in your thoughts, we can begin to explore more deeply what this means in the context of your spiritual awakening. What happens when we are faced with such an intense connection, whether with someone or something that catches our attention in an inexplicable way? This is the essence of an awakening, something that goes beyond logic, something that touches the soul. It is important to realize that on the path to spiritual awakening, signs often present themselves in unexpected ways. Someone's presence in your mind can be a manifestation of the universe, guiding you to deeper self-knowledge. The spiritual connection you have with this person may be a reflection of your own inner needs and desires. It may be that your mind is trying to draw your attention to aspects that you haven't noticed yet or don't want to see. Have you ever thought about how the people around us have the power to teach us something about ourselves? Sometimes the way we connect with them reveals patterns and emotions that are not fully resolved within us. In other words, this person's presence can be a mirror to the aspects of your own life that call for healing or understanding, and that is an invitation to awaken. This deep connection with another person is a reflection of what is happening inside you. It may indicate an emotional cycle or an experience that you still need to resolve. Often the mind creates a kind of fixation point for what needs to be healed or understood, and it is through this fixation that the universe shows us where we can still grow, and how we can learn to free ourselves from patterns that limit us. Think about this for a moment. What does this person in your mind represent to you? Is there something you still don't understand about this person or yourself? Sometimes the answers aren't so clear at first, but it's important to be open to the possibility that this connection could be an opportunity for your inner growth. When consciousness begins to awaken, everything around us begins to reflect what we need to learn. This is one of the greatest gifts of spiritual awakening, the ability to see life in a new way, with clearer and deeper perception. What seemed like a simple thought or a seemingly common relationship can turn into an opportunity for evolution and inner growth. The universe silently is always guiding us to the places where we most need to evolve. And how can we use this in a practical way in our daily lives? A powerful tool for dealing with these feelings and thoughts that arise is meditation. Meditation helps us create space between ourselves and our thoughts, allowing us to observe emotions without identifying with them. By creating this space, we can begin to understand why certain people or situations are on our mind so constantly. Furthermore, the practice of mindfulness teaches us to be present in the moment. By applying these principles to our everyday lives, we begin to notice patterns of thought and behavior that previously went unnoticed. Meditation and mindfulness help us see beyond the surface, to perceive the deeper layers of our inner experience. This process of self-observation helps us recognize that the people who inhabit us mentally are not just external figures, but also reflections of our own inner being. When we can integrate this understanding, we take an important step on the path to spiritual awakening. We learn to see ourselves more clearly and realize that we are all connected, not just through our experiences, but also through our emotions and energies. Now I ask, have you ever tried to observe your thoughts without judging them? Do you allow yourself to simply be, without trying to understand everything immediately? When we can do this, we begin to realize that the answers are already within us. Spiritual awakening is not about seeking something outside, but about recognizing what is already present within us, waiting to be recognized. This reflection is an invitation for you to tune in to your own being and to begin to notice how the universe is constantly communicating with you. The presence of this person in your thoughts can be a sign for you to pay attention to aspects of your life that need healing, understanding, or even change. By recognizing this, you begin to walk towards your true essence. And as always, if you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments below. What feeling did you have when reflecting on this person? Did any part of what we discussed make you see this connection differently? At this time, it is important that you allow yourself to be guided by your own intuitions, by your own internal signals. Spiritual awakening is unique to each of us, and the beauty lies in the journey of discovery and transformation that occurs along the way. As we delve deeper into reflecting on this person who occupies your mind, it is important to understand that spiritual awakening does not only occur on a mental level, but also on an emotional level. Our mind and our emotions are intrinsically connected, and often the feelings that arise when we think about a person are showing us something about ourselves. Perhaps this person is evoking emotions that you didn't notice or that you hadn't allowed yourself to feel. Maybe it's unresolved emotions, hurts from the past, or even a need for forgiveness you haven't yet granted to yourself or others. It is important to remember that emotions are neither good nor bad. They are simply messages that the body and mind sent to us so that we can understand what is happening internally. When a person becomes a constant presence in our thoughts, it is often related to a deep desire for healing, understanding, or even transformation. By learning to observe emotions without judging them, we begin to develop a deeper connection with our inner being, which is essential for spiritual awakening. If you feel intense emotions when you think about that person, whether it's anger, longing, love, or sadness, it's a sign that there's something there that needs to be looked at more closely. Spiritual awakening requires courage to confront emotions that we often avoid. Sometimes these emotions can be linked to issues from the past, such as unresolved relationships or experiences that we still carry as weights. But instead of running away from these emotions, what we can do is accept them and transform them. This is the time to remember that the process of inner transformation begins with accepting everything we are. When we accept our emotions as legitimate parts of our human experience, we begin to release the energy that was previously trapped within us. This liberation is one of the keys to our spiritual evolution. By allowing emotions to surface without resistance, we begin to free ourselves from patterns that no longer serve us. Sometimes simply giving space for emotions to manifest can be the first step towards healing. It is not necessary to understand everything immediately, nor to focus on a single point. Spiritual awakening happens the moment you allow yourself to be honest with yourself, accepting your feelings without trying to control them or repress anything. This is essential for spiritual freedom. Have you ever noticed how, by focusing on our feelings and trying to understand why certain people invade our minds, we can discover old patterns that still influence us? Awakening is not just seeking answers, but understanding that emotions show us where we need more self-understanding and acceptance. Healing and transformation happen when we stop fighting ourselves and begin to lovingly accept everything that comes our way. This process of self-transformation does not happen all at once, and it does not need to be quick. Spiritual awakening is actually a path of patience and compassion towards yourself. By becoming aware of our emotions and not identifying with them, we can begin to act in ways that are more aligned with our true selves without being governed by the past or external expectations. A practice that can be very useful in this process of emotional release is therapeutic writing. Often, putting our feelings on paper can help us organize and understand them more clearly. If you feel like fit, try writing about the person on your mind. What do you feel when thinking about her? What does this connection mean to you? As you write, you can begin to see patterns that were previously hidden, and even find answers that your mind on its own couldn't identify. On the path to spiritual awakening, understanding our emotions and learning to transform them is one of the most powerful parts of the journey. Emotions are like traffic signs, telling us where we need to stop, reflect, or change direction. By welcoming emotions, instead of resisting them, we begin to see life in a more peaceful and conscious way. This process can be challenging, especially when emotions are intense, but by looking at these emotions with an open heart, we may discover that behind them, there is always a valuable message about what really matters to us. Spiritual awakening, in large part, is about understanding what is essential and freeing yourself from what no longer serves you. And again, if you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had the opportunity to look at your emotions more deeply and without judging them? How do you feel about the emotions that arise when you think about this person? Spiritual awakening is an invitation to look within with compassion and without rushing to find answers. As you progress, this journey becomes clearer and more meaningful, as you begin to realize that what you seek is actually already within you. As the journey of spiritual awakening progresses, the next important step involves liberation. Awakening does not happen without there being a process of purification, of releasing what holds us back. And often, it is precisely the release of emotions and thoughts that connect us to a person or an experience that prevents us from moving forward. This process of release is fundamental, and it is intrinsically linked to forgiveness. When someone constantly occupies your thoughts, it may be a sign that something inside you needs to be released. Forgiveness is not just about forgiving others. Forgiveness often needs to be given to ourselves. How many times do we hold on to hurts and resentments that block us from living fully. Forgiveness is not about justifying behaviors, but about understanding that keeping these heavy feelings inside only prevents us from moving forward on our spiritual path. The act of forgiving is one of the most powerful practices on the path to spiritual awakening. Forgiveness frees our energy and allows us to release the emotional weight we carry. When we think of someone, whether with anger, sadness, or resentment, it is as if we are anchored to that person, allowing them to control our emotions. Forgiveness is, in essence, the key to freeing ourselves from this emotional prison. Forgiveness begins with recognizing that we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all have flaws. When we allow ourselves to forgive, we are not saying that someone's action was right or justifiable, but we are saying that our peace and spiritual growth are more important than the pain this experience caused us. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, a way to create space for love and harmony within our hearts. By releasing these emotions, by forgiving, you open a new path to spiritual growth. You begin to realize that each person who appears in your life has an important role. They teach us something about ourselves. They help us look inside and understand what we need to heal. That person you feel is always in your thoughts could be a reflection of what you need to release within yourself. But how can we begin this process of forgiveness? Firstly, it is necessary to be willing to look honestly at the feelings we have towards the person. It is not about forcing forgiveness, but about recognizing that our spiritual healing begins when we decide that we are ready to release what is holding us back. Instead of holding on to negative feelings like anger or sadness, we can ask ourselves, what did this experience teach me? What can I learn from this? When we can answer these questions with an open heart, the forgiveness process becomes lighter. Forgiveness is not a quick fix, but a constant practice. When we forgive ourselves or others, we are in a process of release and healing, not just in relation to another person, but in relation to ourselves. Meditation is a very powerful tool in this process. It helps us cultivate inner peace and bring our attention to the present. By meditating, we can visualize the release of these emotions, visualize forgiveness flowing as a healing energy. By doing this, we begin to release the heaviness we hold inside and create space for love and stillness. Realize that by releasing these emotions, you are not forgetting or minimizing the pain that was felt. Forgiveness does not mean denying feelings, but it means allowing yourself not to be controlled by them. When we decide to no longer carry the weight of resentment, we begin to free ourselves and open ourselves to a lighter life experience that is more aligned with our divine essence. This process of release through forgiveness is essential for spiritual awakening. When we can forgive, we can release the energies that are preventing us from moving forward. And in doing so, we are able to live with greater clarity and inner peace. Remember, forgiveness is an ongoing process, and with each step you take towards it, the more freedom and serenity you will experience in your life. Again, if you feel comfortable, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced the power of forgiveness in your life? How has this impacted your spiritual path? As you move forward, remember that forgiveness is not about others, but about you and your inner peace. Spiritual awakening is a journey of transformation, and releasing the past is a fundamental part of that path. When you allow yourself to forgive, you not only free others, but you also free yourself from the chains that hold you back from being the best version of yourself. By forgiving, you become lighter, more centered and more in tune with the flow of life. This allows you to move forward with more clarity and gratitude, leaving the past behind and opening yourself to a future full of possibilities. Now that we have walked through the steps of spiritual awakening together, from identifying deepest feelings to liberation through forgiveness, we arrive at the fundamental point of any spiritual journey: integration. How then can we take everything we learn and begin to experience into our everyday lives? Spiritual awakening is not an isolated experience that occurs only in moments of meditation or deep reflection. It must be integrated into the way we relate to ourselves, to others, and to the world around us. It's not just about seeking moments of spiritual connection, but about living that connection with every step we take. Awakening is not something that happens once and then goes away. It is something that is reflected in every attitude, thought, and choice. The first thing to understand is that spiritual awakening does not require perfection. We are not seeking to be enlightened beings who never make mistakes or have challenges. Spiritual awakening is about being present in the process, about living with more awareness and authenticity. This means being attentive to your reactions, emotions, and thoughts, without clinging to judgment, but always seeking inner truth and alignment with your deepest being. An important aspect of integration is the daily practice of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for staying focused on the present and what really matters. When we cultivate gratitude, we are essentially opening ourselves to the flow of life, recognizing the blessings that often go unnoticed. This does not mean ignoring difficulties, but rather learning to see beyond them, focusing on what is positive and transformative in each experience. Integrating spiritual awakening into daily life also requires the practice of mindfulness. By living mindfully, you become more aware of each moment. This means being fully present in what you're doing, whether it's brushing your teeth, working, or interacting with others. When we are fully present, we can see life more clearly, without the distractions of a busy mind. Another essential practice is self-care. Spiritual awakening cannot be fully experienced if we do not take care of ourselves. This includes taking care of our body, mind, and spirit in a balanced way. Self-care can be as simple as taking a few minutes to breathe deeply or spend time in nature, or as profound as taking quiet moments to meditate or reflect on what's going on inside you. By taking care of yourself, you create space within yourself so that spiritual energy can flow freely. And perhaps most important is the practice of unconditional love. Love starts from within. We can only truly love others when we learn to love and accept ourselves completely. This does not mean being perfect, but rather being kind to ourselves, accepting our flaws and limitations, and seeing opportunities for growth in them. Unconditional love is also reflected in our relationships with others. When we practice unconditional love, we are able to accept others as they are, without pressure or expectations, just offering our presence and genuine support. As we integrate these practices, spiritual awakening begins to manifest naturally in our lives. There is no need to force or look for special moments of connection. They happen in everyday life, in every breath, in every step. Awakening is a constant flow, a dance between the inner and the outer, the visible and the invisible. It allows us to see the divine in everyday life, recognize beauty in the simple, and find peace in the midst of chaos. I invite you to continue this journey of awakening, integrating everything you have learned and experienced here into your daily life. Remember that spiritual awakening is not a destination, but a journey. And the most important thing is the willingness to continue walking, even when challenges arise. As you move forward, trust the process and the wisdom that resides within you. If you are ready to continue this journey and explore the path of spiritual awakening deeper, I invite you to join us in the next video about your spiritual awakening, how to create deep connections with someone. In the next meetings, we will dive even deeper into how we can connect in a true and meaningful way with others, based on our inner awakening. With love and gratitude, continue allowing yourself to live with awareness, compassion, and presence, and may inner peace be your constant companion.